In the latest installment of our series, Made in the USA, The Price of an American Job, we're taking a look at athletic shoemaker New Balance. It's the last major shoemaker here in the United States, with more than 1,300 workers at 5 factories across the Northeast. I spoke with CEO Robert DeMartini about remaining competitive in this market.
Today, the fact that we make shoes in the U.S. doesn't cost the U.S. consumer anything more. The market's competitive, and we have to price accordingly. If we had the chance to continue to grow U.S. jobs, we're going to do it. Actually, we are trying to do that right now.
So this was a decision you made to stay in the United States strategically? I mean, is it also tactically helping you get product into stores faster?
We think it being closer to the consumer base allows us to do some pretty cool things. We make some custom product that you can go onto a website or into one of our retail stores. You can pick out the colors and the customization you want, and we can have it on your door 2 days later. We couldn't do that if we made all those shoes in the Far East.
So what's your typical turnaround from the order place to actually having a shoe?
In that customization program, it's within 5 days.
Within 5 days.
Yep.
And if you were overseas, it would take you a matter of weeks.
The air freight alone would take you 10 days to get it here.
So if it's helping you with the supply chain and you don't see much of a change in terms of labor costs, why don't you think more companies are doing this?
Well, it's taken us a long time. We started making shoes in the U.S. in 1938. We adopted lean manufacturing through the 70s and 80s. And today, the way we make shoes in the U.S. delivers the same or higher quality at a much lower labor content rate. And so because of that, a shoe made in Asia may take about 20 minutes of labor. In the U.S., that takes us about 2.5 minutes.
So what's the average price point for one of your sneakers?
We sell shoes from $60 up to about $150.
So it's still in the range of what a typical sneaker would cost.
We're competitively priced with Nike and everybody else in the business. So as I said earlier, the consumer is going to pay a fair price, and that's dictated by the market, not by our manufacturing costs.
Now, there's a huge debate in this country about how to create jobs and then how to pay for the job creation process. What would make you hire more workers in these U.S. factories and stores?
You know, I'd like to see the government continue to try to drive a very pro-jobs agenda and make it easier for businesses to expand, and that means a clearer regulatory environment and a much clearer direction.
Now, what do you mean by regulatory environment? Because regulation isn't going to sell a sneaker.
No, it's not going to sell a sneaker, but changing regulation makes it very nervous to try to add capacity and then not know what the environment you're going to be dealing with in the future is.
Now, you manufacture in the U.S., but you export overseas. There are trade bills in Congress, stalled, have been for some time. But if you saw, free trade with Vietnam, with South Korea, with Panama, what would that do for you? And would you reconsider your manufacturing?
Well, Margaret, we are very committed to domestic manufacturing, irregardless of the regulatory environment. We're going to stay making shoes in the U.S. It is cheaper to make shoes overseas today. We are concerned about things like the Trans-Pacific Partnership. We are all for free trade and fair trade, but there is a difference between the two. And in the Trans-Pacific Partnership, there's a significant effort to reduce tariffs with Vietnam. The shoe business is supported by the government. It is not free trade. It is subsidized trade. And we want the U.S. to pay attention to that as they make these changes. There's real people behind these bills with real jobs, and we want to keep them here.
Another bill that's out there right now has to do with the U.S. military. Now, the U.S. military is required to have clothing made by American manufacturer, but not their sneakers. They can buy foreign sneakers.
You've done your homework.
Are you lobbying here? You must be.
You've done your homework. We very much think that U.S. military should wear, under the Berry Amendment, U.S.-made product.
Any progress with this?
It moves very slowly.
Yeah. But why are they allowed to wear foreign shoes, if not foreign clothing?
I can't answer the decisions that the government and the Department of Defense has made there. What we know is we make great product here that we're told by the military services they want to wear. We still do a significant business with the military, but the sneaker is not issued like the rest of his uniform.
And the jobs bill that the president put forward last week, would you hire more based on that?
It's unclear to me how the jobs bill itself, as it's been projected, is going to allow me to hire more. I do know that as we continue to grow demand for our U.S.-made sneakers, we will hire more.